Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Renuka RS with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauds security forces for thwarting efforts of Pakistani terrorists to target democratic exercises in Jammu and Kashmir. Bhutan's requirements will always be top priority for India, says Prime Minister. COVID-19 national recovery rate improves to 93.60%. Complete curfew to be imposed in Ahmedabad city over the weekend from 9 p.m. today to curb rising corona cases. Sandhya Arghya offered to the setting sun by Chhath devotees. And Scottish writer Douglas Stewart wins 2020 Booker Prize for his debut novel Shuggie Bain. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today held a review meeting with top security officials in the wake of the killing of 4 JEM terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir. Mr. Modi in a tweet asserted that security forces have thwarted the efforts of terrorists to wreak major havoc and destruction. Mr. Modi wrote on Twitter that security forces have once again displayed utmost bravery, and it was due to their alertness that a nefarious plot to target grassroots-level democratic exercises in Jammu and Kashmir was defeated. He also said that neutralizing of 4 terrorists belonging to Pakistan-based terrorist organization Jaish-e-Mohammed and the presence of a large cache of weapons and explosives with them indicates that their efforts to wreak major havoc and destruction have once again been thwarted. Home Minister Amit Shah, NSA Ajit Doval, Foreign Secretary and top intelligence officials were present at the review meeting. 4 Pakistan-based Jaish-e-Mohammed's terrorists were killed and 2 policemen injured in a gun battle in Nagrota yesterday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Bhutanese counterpart, Lote Tshering, jointly launched e-Rupee card Phase 2 today. Both the leaders had jointly launched Phase 1 of the project during the state visit of the Prime Minister to Bhutan in August last year. Mr. Modi said India stands with Bhutan in the difficult hour of the COVID-19 pandemic. He asserted that Bhutan's requirements will always be top priority for India.
भारत और भूटान के विशिष्ट संबंध, हमारी विशेष मित्रता न सिर्फ दोनों राष्ट्रों के लिए अमूल्य है, बल्कि विश्व के लिए एक बेजोड़ उदाहरण भी है। पिछले वर्ष मेरी भूटान यात्रा अनेक स्मृतियों से भरी पड़ी है। हमने अपने सहयोग में डिजिटल, अंतरिक्ष और इमर्जिंग टेक्नोलॉजी जैसे नए क्षेत्रों को शामिल करने के लिए महत्वपूर्ण पहल की थी।
Prime Minister Modi said that Phase 2 launching of Rupee card will boost ties between the 2 countries.
आज के बाद भूटान नेशनल बैंक द्वारा जारी किए गए रुपे कार्ड के कार्ड धारक भारत में 1 लाख से अधिक एटीएम और 20 लाख से अधिक पॉइंट्स ऑफ सेल टर्मिनल की सुविधा उपयोग कर पाएंगे। मुझे विश्वास है कि इससे भूटान के यात्रियों को भारत में शिक्षा, स्वास्थ्य, तीर्थ यात्रा या फिर पर्यटन में बहुत सहूलियत रहेगी। इससे भूटान में डिजिटल ट्रांजैक्शन बढ़ाने में भी मदद मिलेगी।
Mr. Modi also expressed happiness that work is going on rapidly to send Bhutan's satellite to space with the help of ISRO next year. Mr. Tshering, lauding Prime Minister Modi's leadership in tackling the pandemic, expressed hope that India will come out much stronger from the pandemic. He said the lead that India is taking in developing vaccines is a source of hope for all.
I'm sure India will come out much stronger from the pandemic. Furthermore, the lead that India is taking in developing vaccines is a source of hope for all of us. We are thankful to you and your government for the assurance to make vaccines available for Bhutan once they are ready for clinical use.
The implementation of Phase 1 of RuPay cards in Bhutan has enabled visitors from India to access ATMs and point-of-sale POS terminals across Bhutan. Phase 2 will now allow Bhutanese cardholders to access the RuPay network in India.
The COVID-19 recovery rate of the country has further improved to 93.60%. More than 84,28,000 people have recovered so far. In the past 24 hours, 44,807 recoveries have been reported across the country. The active cases currently comprise only 4.93% of the total positive cases, and the total number of active cases in the country is 4,43,794. The Health and Family Welfare Ministry today said a total of 45,882 new cases of COVID-19 have been reported in the country within 24 hours. In one day, 584 deaths have been reported, taking the nationwide toll to 1,32,162. The case fatality rate stood at 1.47% in the country, which is one of the lowest globally. Meanwhile, the Indian Council of Medical Research said various laboratories in the country have tested 10,83,397 samples for coronavirus in the last 24 hours. More than 12 crore 95 lakh tests have been conducted in the country so far. The Gujarat government has imposed a complete curfew during the weekend from 9 p.m. today in Ahmedabad city. The night curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. will remain in force from Monday onwards until further orders. AIR Ahmedabad correspondent reports that this decision has been taken to curb the rising number of COVID-19 cases in recent days.
The weekend curfew will remain in force from 9 p.m. today to 6 a.m. on Monday in Ahmedabad city. Essential services like medical stores and milk parlours will remain open during the curfew period. Gujarat State Road Transport Corporation has announced that their buses will not operate from Ahmedabad city during the curfew hours. City bus services also remained off the road during the curfew. However, the passengers coming or going by air or train will be allowed on presentation of proper documents. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Vijay Rupani has denied the possibility of fresh lockdown in the state. He appealed the people not to panic as the curfew is for precautionary measures. He appealed the people to follow the compulsory mask rule and avoid crowding. Yogesh Pandya, Air News, Ahmedabad.
In Madhya Pradesh, Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan denied reports that the government was considering imposing lockdown again. No lockdown is to be imposed in the state, he said in a tweet message. The statement from CM Shivraj Singh Chauhan came after media reports claimed that the Madhya Pradesh government had been mulling imposing lockdown in some parts of the state to contain the spread of coronavirus or COVID-19. During a meeting with 7 district collectors and other officials over the coronavirus situation, the Chief Minister decided against lockdown. The state has so far recorded more than 1,89,000 coronavirus cases, including 3,138 deaths. A total of 917 patients were discharged from hospitals today, taking the state's overall recovery count to 1,76,000. In Rajasthan, the number of active cases of COVID-19 today increased to about 21,000 after a month. 2,762 people have tested positive for COVID-19 today. It is the highest number of infections reported in a single day so far. With the death of 14 people in the last 24 hours due to the infection, the death toll has reached 2,130 in the state. In Manipur, 200 people, including 12 personnel from the Central Armed Police Force, have tested positive for COVID-19 in the past 24 hours. The total number of positive cases so far in the state has reached 22,748. 189 people were discharged in the past 24 hours in the state, and the recovery rate is 86.24%. So far, Manipur has recorded 19,620 recoveries, while the number of active cases is 2,896 and 232 have died. Meghalaya registered 2 COVID-19 related deaths from East Khasi Hills district, tallying the total number of fatalities to 106, a statement from the Directorate of Health Services informed. The state witnessed 173 new COVID-19 cases today, taking the total number of active cases to 888, while 84 new recoveries were also recorded, bringing the number of recovered cases to 10,158. Meghalaya has a total of 11,158 confirmed COVID-19 cases. Out of them, 10,158 have recovered.
In Himachal Pradesh, corona infection cases are rising continuously and more than 10,000 new cases have been reported so far in this month itself. Our correspondent reports that the Lahore administration has banned the movement of tourists to Lahore Valley after many people tested positive for COVID-19 in Thorang village of Lahore Spiti.
In Thorang village of Lahore Spiti district, 41 out of 42 people have been tested corona positive. As a result, the administration has banned the movement of tourists visiting villages of Lahore Valley. Tourists can go through Atal Tunnel up to the Sisu Nursery area and not beyond that. Lahore Spiti has become the most corona-affected district of the state in terms of population. Meanwhile, more than 32,000 cases of corona infection have been reported in the state so far. But the matter of relief is that till now more than 25,000 people have also won the battle against COVID-19. So far, 486 deaths have been recorded in the state due to COVID-19. Sanjeev Sundariyal, AIR News, Shimla.
In Haryana, third phase trial of a potential coronavirus vaccine of Bharat Biotech, Covaxin, has begun. Today, Haryana Health Minister Anil Vijay was administered a trial dose of Covaxin at Ambala Cantonment. Mr. Vij has become the first volunteer in the state for the third phase trial of the vaccine. He was kept under observation for some time after being administered the vaccine. Earlier, the minister underwent some tests at the hospital and afterwards he was administered the dose. Mr. Vij is said to be the first cabinet minister of any state government to have registered himself as a volunteer to take the trial dose of a potential COVID-19 vaccine. Civil Surgeon Ambala, Dr. Kuldeep Singh, told reporters that the Covaxin dose was administered to the minister successfully. Before taking the trial dose, while talking to media, Mr. Vij said, if all goes well, the vaccine against COVID-19 will be available to the people by the beginning of next year. Covaxin is being developed indigenously by Bharat Biotech in collaboration with the Indian Council of Medical Research. Minister of Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal today said that India will play an important role in ensuring cost-effective and innovative healthcare solutions for the future. Addressing the Asia Health 2020 Summit of Confederation of Indian Industry, Mr. Goyal stressed on the importance of ensuring vaccines for COVID-19 at an affordable price to all, including less developed countries and poor. He said this common attempt to find a vaccine for COVID-19 has really brought all of us together.
While some districts in Maharashtra are all set to reopen schools for classes 9th to 12th from Monday, the Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai has said all schools under its jurisdiction will continue to remain shut till the end of this year. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
Stating that one cannot deny the apprehension of a second wave of the coronavirus infection, Mumbai Civic Body has said that the ensuing 4 to 6 weeks are very important in terms of prevention of COVID-19. Accordingly, the order issued by Mumbai Civic Body's Education Officer Mahesh Palkar has said that all schools, be it public or private, and regardless of the medium of instruction deployed, will remain closed till 31st December 2020. The order, however, added that the supplementary exams for class 10th and 12th, as announced earlier by the Maharashtra State Board of Secondary and High Secondary Education, will continue as per schedule. Meanwhile, in Sindhudurg district, the administration is taking all efforts to reopen schools from Monday. Besides sanitation of premises and seeking parental permission, the district authorities have decided to conduct COVID-19 tests of all teaching and non-teaching staff, while RT-PCR tests will be conducted for those who are above 40 years of age and of those who are suffering from any comorbid conditions like diabetes. Rapid antigen tests will be conducted for others. Nisha Rani, AIR News, Mumbai.
The News Services Division of All India Radio and its bilingual live phone-in program tonight will bring you a special discussion on COVID-19. This can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. Dr. Ramanar Gangakhedkar, former head scientist in the Epidemiology and Communicable Diseases Division of ICMR, will participate in the discussion. Listeners can ask questions to the expert on toll-free telephone number 1800115767. You can also ask questions on telephone number 011-2331-4444 and post queries on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. This program will also be available on our website newsonair.com and on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. You can also follow us on the News on AIR app for updates. The Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology has released the back-end code of Arogya Setu app in the open domain. The source code of the Android and iOS versions were released earlier, and the back-end source code is also being released as per the policy of the Government of India to share all code repositories with developer community. The Ministry of Electronics and IT, in a statement, said Arogya Setu has proved to be very useful in India's fight against COVID-19, and release of the source code of the Arogya Setu app is a step in the direction of reaffirming the commitment of the government to complete transparency. The ministry said the app has been downloaded by more than 16.43 crore users and has greatly augmented the efforts of frontline health workers in the fight against COVID-19. It has helped identify Bluetooth contacts of COVID-positive users and issued alerts for helping people to stay safe.
Researchers say that the Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine candidate is showing a strong immune response in adults in their 60s and 70s. They said it has raised hopes that the vaccine can protect age groups most at risk from the virus. Researchers say that Lancet Phase 2 findings based on 560 healthy adult volunteers are encouraging. 3 vaccines, Pfizer, BioNTech, Sputnik and Moderna, have already reported good preliminary data from Phase 3 trials, with one suggesting 94% of people over 65 could be protected from COVID-19. You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauded security forces for thwarting efforts of Pakistani terrorists to target democratic exercises in Jammu and Kashmir. Bhutan's requirements will always be top priority for India, says Prime Minister. COVID-19 national recovery rate improves to 93.60%. Complete curfew to be imposed in Ahmedabad city over the weekend from 9 p.m. today to curb rising corona cases. Sandhya Argya offered to the setting sun by Chhat devotees. And Scottish writer Douglas Stewart wins 2020 Booker Prize for his debut novel Shaggy Ben. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back to the evening news. India touched a landmark milestone with operationalization of more than 50,000 Ayushman Bharat health and wellness centers. This has led to improved access to affordable primary healthcare services for more than 25 crore people in the country. Health and Family Welfare Minister Dr. Harshvardhan congratulated the states and union territories for their efforts in operationalizing the health and wellness centers despite the challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Harshvardhan also thanked the frontline health workers, medical officers, community health officers and ASHAs for their dedication to the cause of providing comprehensive primary healthcare services in these difficult times. Ayushman Bharat scheme was launched in 2018. It aimed at providing comprehensive primary healthcare services to the communities closer to their homes. Around 1.5 lakh health and wellness centers are to be established by the year 2022. Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan today chaired an event to mark the National Newborn Week 2020 being observed from the 15th to the 21st of November to reinforce the importance of newborn health as a key priority area of the health sector and to reiterate the commitment at the highest level. This year, the theme of National Newborn Week is Quality, Equity, Dignity for every newborn at every health facility and everywhere. Dr. Vardhan said that the vision of the government is that every child should survive, thrive and reach their full potential. He added that the government is committed to work towards the health and development of all newborns. Invoking the memory of former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Dr. Vardhan said that the reduction of newborn mortality rate today and dedication of an entire week for the purpose was conceptualized by him. Releasing a detailed progress card on INAP targets and roadmap plan, Dr. Harshvardhan said that India has successfully met important targets of 2017. He said the set target of newborn mortality rate of 24 for the year 2017 and the strides made to fulfill the target of stillbirth rate of 19 by 2020. He said the country is now at newborn mortality rate of 23 per 1,000 live births as per Sample Registration System 2018 and United Nations Interagency Group for Child Mortality Estimation estimates.
Minister for Finance Nirmala Sitharaman today virtually participated in the G20 Finance Ministers meeting in New Delhi. Finance ministers of the G20 countries gathered to discuss their views on the global economic outlook and downside risks in wake of the COVID-19 crisis and how G20 could carry forward the collective global action initiated during the crisis. During the meeting, Mrs. Sitharaman emphasized the need for further efforts by the G20 members to end the crisis and highlighted affordability and accessibility of vaccines for COVID-19 for all as a crucial step in this direction. Highlighting the debt service suspension initiative as an important outcome under the G20 Saudi Arabian presidency, the finance minister stressed on the need for collective and coordinated efforts by all G20 members to achieve this deliverable. She also congratulated the Saudi Arabian presidency for their tireless efforts and exceptional leadership to steer the G20 agenda in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. She said that India looks forward to working with the Italian presidency as a Troika member from December 2020. Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister Dharmendra Pradhan today said that 2 lakh crore rupees will be invested for setting up 5,000 compressed biogas plants in the country by 2023-24. Mr. Pradhan said this during an event where a MOU was signed for setting up of 900 such plants. To boost the availability of affordable and clean transport fuels, an MOU was signed between the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas and leading oil and gas marketing companies and technology providers to establish compressed biogas CBG plants across India under the Sustainable Alternative Towards Affordable Transportation initiative.
Devotees offered their obeisance today to the setting sun on the third day of the ongoing Chhath Puja festival. In Bihar, a large number of devotees thronged to Chhath Ghat at rivers, ponds and several water bodies to offer their prayers to the sun god. The folk festival will conclude tomorrow morning with offering Prateh Arghya to the rising sun. After that, the devotees will break their 36-hour-long fast and perform Paran. More from our correspondent.
Amid hide-and-seek of sun in clouds in several parts of the state, devotees offered their prayers, Sandh Arghya, on banks of rivers, ponds and other water bodies. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, several devotees performed Chhath Puja at their home. Special Chhath Puja were performed at Dev Sun Temple of Aurangabad, Badgaon Sun Temple in Nalanda, Ulark Surya Mandir of Patna and historic sun temples in the other parts of the state. Now, several devotees will arrive at Chhath Ghats at early morning tomorrow to offer their prayers to rising sun. Dharmendra Kumar Rai, AIR News, Patna.
President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have greeted the people on the occasion of Chhath. In his message, the President asked people to resolve to preserve nature and the environment and celebrate the festival keeping in mind the spread of COVID-19 epidemic. Vice President Naidu prayed that the sun god with his energy will illuminate the life of countrymen with health and prosperity. In a tweet, Prime Minister Modi expressed hope that Chhati Maiya will grant happiness, prosperity and vitality of the sun god to everyone. The Prime Minister also posted a video on his Twitter handle about Chhath festival on which he had shared his thoughts in Mann Ki Baat program.
छठ पूजा का अनुपम पर्व प्रकृति से और प्रकृति की उपासना से पूरी तरह जुड़ा हुआ है। सूर्य और जल महापर्व छठ की उपासना के केंद्र में है, तो बांस और मिट्टी से बने बर्तन और कंदमूल इनकी पूजन विधि से जुड़ी अभिन्न सामग्रियां हैं। आस्था के इस महापर्व में उगते सूर्य की उपासना और डूबते सूर्य की पूजा का संदेश अद्वितीय संस्कार से परिपूर्ण है। दुनिया तो उगने वालों को पूजने में लगी रहती है, लेकिन छठ पूजा हमें उनकी आराधना करने का भी संस्कार देती है, जिनका डूबना भी प्रायः निश्चित है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will lay the foundation stone of rural drinking water supply projects in Mirzapur and Sonabhadra districts of Vindhyanchal region of Uttar Pradesh on 22nd November through video conferencing. The total estimated cost of the projects is over 5,555 crore rupees. The projects are planned to be completed in 24 months. Scottish writer Douglas Stewart has won the 2020 Booker Prize for fiction with his debut novel Shuggie Ben, which described a boy growing up in Glasgow in the 1980s with a mother battling addiction. The award ceremony saw 6 shortlisted authors joining virtually and included messages from the former US President Barack Obama, the Duchess of Cornwall, and former Booker winners of Kazuo Ishiguro, Margaret Atwood, and Bernardine Evaristo. Stewart, who won the £50,000 prize after being announced the winner by Chair of the Judges Margaret Bisbee, delivered an acceptance speech. Based on his childhood, Stewart's book is described as a searing account of the boy growing up in Thatcher's Glasgow. He dedicated the book to his own mother, who died of alcoholism when he was 16. The Booker Prize shortlist also included Indian origin writer Avni Doshi's novel Burnt Sugar. First awarded in 1969, the Booker Prize is considered one of the leading prizes for literary fiction written in English. The list of former winners features several of the literary giants of the last 5 decades, from Irish Murdoch to Salman Rushdie, Kazuo Ishiguro to Hilary Mantel.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital is likely to experience cold wave with temperature varying between 8 and 25 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will observe a partly cloudy sky and temperature will range between 22 and 33 degrees Celsius. Chennai will have a partly cloudy sky, temperature will hover between 24 and 32 degrees. Kolkata is likely to have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. The city will observe minimum temperature of 22 degrees, maximum of 32 degrees Celsius. Onto the north in Srinagar, sky will be mainly clear, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Temperature will hover between -1 and 14 degrees Celsius. In Jammu, minimum temperature will be 9 degrees, maximum will be around 26. The city will have a mainly clear sky. In Leh, the sky will be partly cloudy. The minimum temperature will be -6 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be around 5 degrees. In Gilgit, the sky will be mainly clear with temperature hovering between -1 and 15 degrees. Muzaffarabad is likely to have a mainly clear sky. Temperature will move from 3 to 15 degrees Celsius. In Dehradun, the temperature will hover between 9 and 24 degrees with mainly clear sky. Chandigarh will also have a mainly clear sky. Temperature is likely to move from 9 to 22 degrees. In Hyderabad, the minimum temperature will be 19 degrees, while maximum will be around 32 degrees. The city will have a partly cloudy sky with haze. Ahmedabad will witness a clear sky. Minimum temperature will be 17 degrees, maximum around 30. Patna will have fog or mist in the morning and mainly clear sky later on, with temperature hovering between 15 and 26 degrees Celsius. And Guwahati is likely to have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder and lightning. The minimum temperature will be 16 degrees, while maximum will be around 25 degrees Celsius. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauds security forces for thwarting efforts of Pakistani terrorists to target democratic exercises in Jammu and Kashmir. Bhutan's requirements will always be top priority for India, says Prime Minister. COVID-19 national recovery rate improves to 93.60%. Complete curfew to be imposed in Ahmedabad city over the weekend from 9 p.m. today to curb rising corona cases. Sandhya Arghya offered to the setting sun by Chhat devotees. And Scottish writer Douglas Stewart wins 2020 Booker Prize for his debut novel Shuggie Bain. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.